Welcome to episode 23. I am Danielle Amos, and this is the Prosperity Practice Podcast, the podcast that helps you live your most abundant life. Thank you so much for joining today. This podcast is because of a conversation that I had with some clients in our 6 a.m. club. We study together to keep ourselves accountable to the work, and it's brilliant. And this conversation came up, actually, I was asked a question about what to do when you are just consumed with overwhelm. When, day to day, it seems like you're coping and you're getting by, maybe you're working from home now, and you've got kids around you, and you've got, bills to pay and food to cook for your family and all of that kind of stuff. And you feel like you're kind of keeping it together now, but when you think about doing this for the next 2 weeks, the next 2 months, the next year, you freak out. And so when I got this question this morning, I knew that this was an important one because I knew she was not the only person feeling this way. And so here I am creating this podcast to help you, thanks to those clients who encouraged me to do that. So let's get into it. So this overwhelm, it's so important that you stay present today, and because this is what we have. So keeping your mind in this present day, and we understand the future, but the thing is our mind doesn't really know what's going to happen, in 2 weeks and 2 months. So we can get consumed with worry and fear and what might happen, but none of that is relevant because it's just like us predicting, like none of it is for sure. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to spend a lot of time there in your mind. So instead, I want you to really stay present on today and to create clarity. So when there's overwhelm, it means that there's a lot going on in your mind, and what you need to do is to create order in your mind to allow the overwhelm feeling to dissipate. And how I do that is I write down everything that's in my mind. Like I just make a list and get it all out, all those things that I need to do, the things I'm thinking about, and I write and write and write. And do that now for any overwhelmed feeling that you have. And then from that list, you can create a little bit of structure. Like, maybe it's booking a phone call with an accountant and you have that part started. And maybe it's like, meal planning. And then, so you're going to take responsibility for the list and then chunk things out and put them in your calendar to take responsibility, because what you schedule gets done. And then if you were to create this as a habit, so that each and every day you're getting this list out on paper. And I believe the best time to do it, if this was a daily habit, is at night for the next day. So before bed, I've discovered this actually by accident, because I'm that type of person that I used to go to bed and my mind would just be racing, and it would be like 2 a.m. and I still was like tossing and turning and thinking. Can you relate to that? And I, get up at 5. So that doesn't work for me well. And so what I noticed was, if I get all of this out of my mind before I lay in bed, then when I lay to sleep, my mind is at ease and I can actually focus on my visualization and the thing, like nice thoughts, rather than the mind racing thoughts. So take pen to paper and write down all the ideas that you have, or all the things you need to do for the next day or next week, whatever comes to mind. And I just get it on a list, so I don't really do much with it even the night before. But every day in my calendar, I have a block of time where I do take responsibility for this list. And sometimes that block is 2 hours in my calendar, where it's kind of like office time. So I get things done, and I prioritize that list the next morning. And I'll do the most important or income producing activity first. And I do that thing on the list until it's done. And then I move to the next. And sometimes the things on the list I delegate, or If they've been on my list for too long, I delete, because obviously it's not that important, or else I would have done it. Or if I notice I'm procrastinating, then I'll make that a priority and decide to take action, which is the opposite of deciding to wait, which is actually procrastination. So I'll use that chunk of time to work on the things on my list from the night before. And when we get in the habit of doing this each day, what's interesting is we can go to sleep feeling good, where we can focus our mind on visualizing our goal achieved. And I also know that when it's on pen to paper, all those other things that I want to get done, our mind goes to work and solve problems while we go to sleep. So your subconscious mind's always working, whether you're awake or asleep. And I found that was really, really helpful. And sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night with an idea that could solve one of the problems on my list, or I'll wake up the next morning and I'll have an idea, and it's related to that list the night before that I wrote down. So that's not a coincidence. So it actually is making me way more effective because I'm literally solving the problems in my sleep. And listen, I'm not the only one. Did you know that Einstein used to sleep for ideas? And there's countless other scientists and great thinkers that did this. They slept for ideas. Anytime that they felt stuck, they would go take a nap. They'd think about the problem to be solved, whether it was a mathematical equation or perhaps a goal that they wanted to achieve. They visualized and had a quick nap, and then they woke up with the idea. So you're a great thinker, just like Einstein. You have the same mind, the same parts, and your mind works the same way. So try that. So with the overwhelm, what you're doing is you're writing everything down, and as you're writing it, it creates order in your mind. And the pen to paper allows you to think. When you write, it causes thinking, and we think in pictures. And that's why writing is so important. Often I meet people who keep their list in their mind, and that's not a great idea. That's not a good idea at all. So write it down and then focus on today only. Focus on today and commit to showing up as your very best, and ask yourself before each segment of your day, like, who am I being for this segment? So, before an important phone call, get present to you with your goal achieved, and step into that version of you, act as if, and then go complete the task. And you'll notice your effectiveness goes up and up. And this is exactly what we teach in our program. The truth is right now, it's really important to be thinking this way, and how to become more and more effective so that you're working smarter, not harder. And anyone can have that. Anyone can have that. It's going to take some thinking. So, by focusing on today, you're going to do your best, your absolute best today, and you'll wake up tomorrow and do your very best tomorrow, and continue day to day to day. Anytime when you want to go and predict the future or get worried about the future, right, and that overwhelm comes back, the truth is you can't predict what you don't know. So I gently just bring myself back, and I tell myself, that kind of thinking none of it is based on truth. So I have a choice in my thoughts, and I can choose to worry, which is literally manifesting what I don't want, like putting that into my energy field, or I can think about what I do want. And the only reason why overwhelm's coming is because there's so many thoughts in my mind, and I need order. And I'm choosing to allow my mind to go into like worry and the unknown. So I gently bring myself back. I don't make myself wrong for doing it. I'm human. And given the present circumstances, that's going to be quite, normal for us to do, to get into that space. And though I recognize that I have a choice just like you. And so that I choose to focus on right now, and I choose to focus on what I can do, and I choose to focus on abundance and prosperity. And if I am in a universe where everything's possible, what do I want and how would that feel? And I get present to that. And as I do, some ideas come to mind, and maybe even some more things from my list that I could do, and I write them down. And I'm okay to write them down because I know I have more than enough time to get it done. And that when I'm in that vibration, I'm going to be attracting the people, the resources, the money that I need to accomplish that goal, because that's how it works. And all I need to do is to stay on the frequency of that goal achieved. And that's really my job, is to stay in that vibration and to feel good and to be open to ideas, and then acting on those ideas with a positive mental attitude and a positive energy behind my actions. Now remember, it's not what you're doing, like even the things on that list, it's not the strategy. That's only 5% of a winner's formula. 95% is the mindset. So it's the energy behind the action that you really, really want to pay attention to. And that is really why I wanted to do the podcast today, because if you're finding yourself in overwhelm day to day today, reach out. I really, like, from my understanding of the laws, I really wouldn't be a good coach if I allowed a person to stay in that vibration, right? And it's a negative vibration of worry, doubt, and fear. And we know that thoughts become things, and if you can see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand, as Bob Proctor says. So I'm assuming none of us want what we worry about. So we want to, instead, we want to focus on what we do want. So if this resonates and it has helped you, do the thing that I'm saying, and try it out for yourself. And if it's helped you, share it with other people. Because the more that we can be in this positive vibration individually and do our work individually like this and take responsibility for our mindset individually, we come together with like-minded positive thinkers, and then that changes, the mass consciousness. Mass is just a group of people, right, together. So come together. Please share this if it resonates. Reach out to me, ask questions, send me a message on Instagram at _Danielle_Amos_, and I'm happy to help. Make sure that you're in our free Facebook community, which is Mastering Your Mindset with Danielle. I am giving content there. I just workshopped a woman's business on Sunday, and that's available in the group, and you can listen to it. And I helped her create additional revenue streams for her bricks and mortar business, which she closed down. It was in gymnastics. And we helped her see how she could do gymnastics online and provide value where her clients and families would pay for, so that she could make money. She was feeling very overwhelmed with the current situation, and we helped turn that around. So listen to that, share this content, be a bright light out there. And how you do that is by getting your own energy straight and then showing up in the universe. So thank you for being who you are. Thank you for listening. And I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you for doing your part, being part of the solution. Keep it up. Expect abundance.